All right, so today is January 17th, Wednesday, about 7 o'clock right now. About to head on in, but yeah. So the last video was about the chassis being bare, the cab was not on, nothing else was on, but now it's on. So anyway, I got a list I wrote down to keep the video more straightforward than kind of like what next to talk about. So for the last few times, I've been going back and forth with the previous owner, Bernie, who I bought the truck from back in May 17th of 2023. Paid $2,600 for it. Pretty firm on price, but anyway, back and forth on chatting, just keeping updates. What I'm doing, things I'm improving, adding on, and then talks about the clutch. And then, I heard stuff the day when I bought it, and as I keep owning it more and more, hearing it from him, he keeps giving me more details than he gave me before, or things he forgot. So apparently between 83, the motor was rebuilt, new clutch, and at some point in the 90s, another new clutch got put on, but on backwards, which I can tell. It's on backwards, that's why it drove so bad. But he still drove it. And I drove 100 miles on it too, until the clutch blew on a busy road. And then had a trailer home, and then here starts the whole restoration. But anyway, new clutch all, and then back and forth. And he says, yeah, that's what I did to her. Well, before he never gave me a name of the Jeep, and don't know him or her gender name of the truck, and now he's saying her, like, what's her name? And he told me it's Jenny. So the name of the truck now is Jenny. Now, I'm going to keep calling it Iron Patriot based off my partnership with USA Rope here in Cambridge Springs, Pennsylvania, local to me, making recovery gear, rope, shackles, winch lines, and they made me a custom winch rope, red, white, and blue colored to match my truck, and also kind of have a main color for their company because it's called USA Rope. That's the colors of the country. So it's like fitting for the company, and that's called a Patriot line. Anyhow, so the business name of the truck is Iron Patriot, or her nickname, but her real name is Jenny now. So I watch I Am Jake on YouTube. He called his Jeep Jade, so kind of matching Jade and Jenny. But anyhow, there's that now. Now we have a name for the Jeep. It's called Jenny, but still nickname Iron Patriot. So yeah, next thing is cab is on now. We got the cab mounts on, rubber mounts. I decided to go with 2 5/8 mounts total, pucks from Jeepsterman. Factory's 5/8 is all you need. Description says 4 needed. I decided to go with 8. I also told 2-inch body lift max on these trucks and wagons, just because of pedals and steering, shifting. So it's like 2-inch max. I'm gonna go with 1.5 inches at most. And 3 pucks is way too tall. And so that's pretty much 1.5 inches, 1.6 inch lift I had in the front here. I tried, and the pedals are having issues. So I toned it back down to 1.25 inches, and I'm happy with it. Now 1.25 inches, but now the bolt is on and compressed with torque. It's probably now 1.1, maybe 1 inch in lift. So just say I'm gonna call it a 1-inch lift I'm putting on the truck versus 5/8 as factory. So there's my cab mounts. The next thing I worked on primarily was steering, which is giving me a bunch of issues. Trying to figure that out. So steering is on now, but my shaft kept hitting the frame too many times. Now, posted a Facebook group to get help, and some guys are back and forth, but one guy said, based off your cab mounts in the back, which are also an issue I had, so let's go back to that now. Cab mounts, this chassis I bought for $300. The guy already sandblasted it, fixed in the frame where it's weak back here, boxed it in, anglered it up, boxed the frame in, add box tubing here. I checked the squareness, it's only 1/8 inch off twist. Better than my old 4-inch twisted frame. These back cab mounts are way too wide for the newer 50s Willys trucks. This is a 49 truck, So the mount's sticking way too far out, so I had to cut that off an inch. And then the holes don't line up at all, so we had to drill holes up in the frame piece to line up the hole. So we're good now. So we're good. But the front mounts are all fine. They did not change in the factory at all. So front mounts, okay. So cap's now mounted, good. Now steering box, I was told it's different. I'm not sure the box itself, the casting housing is different or not, don't know. But holes line up still, but it's still too far up. So I had to remount this hole and I reamed out this hole. So that's reamed down, that is hole reamed up a little bit, and now it works. No more friction on the shaft to the frame, so we steer okay. So that's all done, it's on now. I believe this brake line runs behind here. I decided to go on top just so I have access to it. So there's that. Here's my fuel line. I'll bend that. Once my fender goes on, I'll figure out how I want to route the fuel line to the filter. It's pretty cold out here, everything's stiff. I'm gonna get a new filter anyway, and I prefer to go kind of hard lined right to it or something. But I still want to do a pre-filter before the pump. So anyhow, there's that. All right, next thing on my line is Brake Master, my list. So Brake Master, nothing I did to it except for the cap. The cap that screws on. Had my friend Dave machine a hole in the center for a fitting for a 1/4 inch rubber hose line. And that is for a Brake Master reservoir, which I have in the cab right now for storage. I got this from Wildwood, Amazon. I spent $25 for it. So the hose is 30 inches long, putty long, you have to trim to fit. Get the black mount and then the white clear tank. So anyhow, that's what I got. So that's gonna mount somewhere over in here where it's all empty. All the wiring is done pretty much. Just gonna wire it to the lights and all. So I have room over here somewhere. I'll mount here or somewhere else. I don't want it close to the exhaust, it'll melt, but I want to have easy access to it. So I'll find a spot for it somewhere over here. But this allows me, because these trucks, I post on Instagram like what Kaiser Willys does sometimes. Like they put a part out, a random part that doesn't get seen too often. Like, what is this part? Where's it going on Jeep? What's it for? And so I did the same. Put it on my vise facing the Jeep as a background image of the part and posted it. What is it? And half the comments are all kind of odd. But some guys caught it, oh, it's a Brake Master breather or something. Like, no, it's for a reservoir. And someone says, don't you have an access hole in the floor for it? Like, no. I mean, you have two panels here that come off or screwed on. Not the easiest with flathead screws. Those are covers for the pedals and the steering. The Brake Master is right here. There is no hole. I know this is patched, but even still, there never was a hole for service maintenance, unlike a CJ does. So, no, I don't have access to it like a CJ does. And being a truck, you have super tall fenders, and of course, now the lift, now with 33s on it, it's kind of hard to get down there. But you still got room down here to work, but still painful. On top of that, when it does go low, how low is it? And then you're out of brakes. So having the reservoir now, I can run it up here, clear a bottle, and basically every time I go drive the Jeep, I have to turn the switch to the battery so I can always do a visual check to see how full that reservoir is and just keep topping it off. If it does go empty, it's got all that line to go down and then drain that tank, it'll go down. So it's got like 2 reservoirs plus the line going down of capacity of liquid, so it doubled the chance. Plus it's clear to maintain and check. Plus it's got a vent hole on top of the cap for venting out air. So That's my mod there I'm doing. All right, that's it for the brake master. So that's on. Next was my transmission and my skid plate. Just look at this view, it's easy to see. So the skid plate's on. I made custom mounts for it. Use 1/2 inch by 13 threads, 6-inch long bolts, 2 of them holding it on. So it's held on. So that's on. Still got paint it black, but my front drive shaft is going to hit the skid plate. Not right now. The suspension's at full droop right now with big tires hanging off. So it's at full droop. So at this point, it's not going to hit. But by castering on both axles, the front axles, once I adjust my caster to bring this angle from like this to level, that's going to hit at some point. So I need to mark that and trim it, plasma cut, grind away at it, and then paint it. So that's what needs done still. All right, so that's it for the skid plate. Now onto the transmission. Now we're back here. My Dana 18's leaking oil. It stopped now, but still that leak oil on the ground coming out the rear output. So my rear output going to the drive shaft is leaking oil. It's a brand new seal, but it's still leaking somehow. So Bob says, take your drive shaft off, take the yoke off, pull it off, drain the oil, let it dry, add some RTV to the shaft, splines, re-put the yoke back on and oil back in, make sure it stops leaking, not gonna leak at all, and then put your drive shaft back on and drive. But also with the drive shaft off, I need to fix my yoke, universal joints. So it's hard to see from here, maybe not. Alright, trying to see. Universal joint is facing kind of 11 o'clock position right now. Meanwhile, back here, it's faced off that way. So basically 2 o'clock position instead of 11 o'clock. So one of these ends need to be equal. So this piece right here needs to be faced like noon, 12 o'clock noon, and that front piece should face 12 o'clock noon. So my splines on the drive shaft need realigned, so it's the balance stays the same. I didn't know that. Grandpa's telling me that, and my friend Dave is telling me that. So just for drive shaft balance. All right, that's it for the drive shafts. My rear purchase need to get rewelded. I have them, just gotta do them. I'm gonna wait till the front of the whole truck's done running and driving, and then worry about back here. So I have those that get put on. My gas tank needs a skid plate made, just so I don't hit it off-road. And then my drawbar back here needs to get supports made. Doesn't get twisted, towing something heavy. And then back here as well, I have my Warn winch. At some point, I gotta find which model. I called Warn today to figure out what winch to go with. They had no idea what to do. I'm running a back winch back here. Yeah, it's roughly back here, and I'm gonna mount it kind of close to here. Prefer to mount it there or make some kind of brace. And I kind of have some access like in this area on the other side, a unlock for free spool. That's an option. The Exxon 4,500 pound winch should be enough capacity, but the free spool mode is right here on the side, right next to the gas tank. Not convenient at all. You get ones with a handle on top, like my Evo, VR Evo top mount, and I could figure out some kind of cable, drill a hole, run a rod in there, and it pulls that free spool handle, or make a new one out of like a cam system, little mechanical cam. You pull it, unlocks, pull cable out, push this rod back in the frame, that moves the cam, locks it. That's my idea for a homemade idea. So figure out some kind of winch with a handle on top, that'll do. Or they're saying get their 10,000 pound Plantum series Warn winches. Like, yeah, I don't need 10,000 pound back winch, nor do I want to spend a couple $1,000 on a Plantum winch for a rear winch alone. No, I'm good. So yeah, there's my back winch hassle to figure out. Not priority, but I want to do it for the bed goes back on the chassis. So there's that. Got my Valve air tank to mount, 10-pound tank to get mounted. Gotta figure out mount still. My Valve twin air compressors, I'm about to get mounted over there, but gotta figure out mounts too for that. Alrighty, next things are inside the dashboard. So dashboard, I need to get a new fuel and voltage gauges. I have a gas gauge already, but not the style I'm after for what I want to have. And then for voltage, I found it on Amazon already, and it shows 2 voltages. So you have your main and your aux. So main would be my starter battery, and then my aux battery is my winch, my rock lights, all my accessories to my aux battery. So my aux is my Ultima yellow top battery I'll buy eventually. And then the battery I already have over there will be my starter battery for now. So I upgrade to an Ultima yellow once that one fails. So I'll figure out which way to set it up for now. For now, original battery I have right here mounted. Over here, I have space. My winch battery, Ultima yellow top right here. That's why I move my horns inside the grill, because I have room to mount my battery here. So, all right, so that's that. On the list. All right, back to the inside as well. So today's Wednesday, so Monday I worked on my seats. Seats are now done. So the back has been done for a while. The base just got finished Monday. Still got to do the desk cover. You're gonna get dust or mice up inside the springs of the seat, but besides that, the seats are done. So they can go back in, but around the workshop, it's dusty in here. The doors will be off this weekend for rust repair and rebuilding that door, so I'll be in the house for a while. All right, that's it for the cab. All right, now we're on to things still to do, things to make. Things to make I already talked about already. Yeah, of course, we have rock sliders to do too, tube steel. But I want to wait till the whole thing's done. Bed's back on, my exhaust stack is here, so all that stuff, that's later on. Alrighty. Next on the list is front vise. I got this vise at a yard sale for $2, American made. Small vise, 3.5-inch jaw. It was on the house fire. Like, I'll save it. I can't save it, it's too stuck. Gave it to Grandpa, he got it free. And now it's free, I painted it. Black base, silver on top. And so I want to mount this vise right here. You know, it's a pittable base, I can turn it if I want. So I want to mount it above my floodlights, but below these lights. So that's my challenge. I got a mounting hole there, plus these two, plus the chassis mounts there. So plenty strong enough to mount this somewhere. Gotta make the base still though. So that's that, gonna go there. I thought about mounting on the side of the truck, on the back tailgate area, the drawbar, but I just didn't see it practical at all. Better mount it up here. But the catch is up front, in the long run future of the truck, this is just more for farm use, but I wanna make some kind of tower going high, run the winch to a pulley to be able to lift stuff, axles, engines to trees on the ground. So a little mini front tow truck almost, not for towing cars, but I mean, you could do a woods rescue of a Jeep in the woods or something. You could, but yeah, some tow bars coming off of these hooks here, plus the frame somewhere, make mounts, but that's just a side project. Alright, so that's that for Jenny. Alright, things to do, that's all things to make still. The only left on my list to do is mount my speaker inside. I got the tube already, just gonna make some mounts to the cab itself, the whole entire cab mount for the rear speakers. So I got these figured out here. I'm gonna use exhaust clamps to clamp something on, but then on the clamps you have these nuts on top, which I'll just clamp on. And I gotta figure out some kind of flat plate that goes here, drill holes in the flat plate, they nut on, goes down into a plate. Then those plates have a hole that goes into the cab itself and melts on the back plate of the back of the cab. That's my unknown right now, how to do that without pulling through the cab wall or whatever, making it weak. That needs done still. All right, then we have handbrake cables to do. It's pretty quick and easy. And then exhaust, last part. So I get the exhaust painted. It works, still good. I'll use it for a while till about April, May, and then we'll go to the exhaust shop and have something custom made for the truck. So for now, I'll at least be quiet for a while, but exhaust comes off eventually, and it turns, comes across, comes between here and here, up through, and then it goes to a muffler to an exhaust stack. So there's that. I'm not gonna get into why I'm doing a stack, but that's what I'm doing. And then the last two things. Right now I'm working on Instagram with two guys. So we're almost done here. So I reached out to Little Red Jeep on Instagram. He does my sketches for my profile pictures for each of my new Jeeps I get, and stickers eventually. So it's a nice side view of the truck, like this kind of view, but on the driver's side we're doing. So he starts Monday, so whatever that day is. So Monday he's gonna start doing sketches for me on, we'll just get to the side we're doing. So this side of the truck, but I kind of want him to have that door painted blue to match the rest of the blue with some nice fake patina. Sliders to do a hair of exhaust tip on the back, doing a spare tire, doing the hose reel for that, jerry can back there, wooden bed rails back there with a glimpse of, actually we're not doing that because the tools are on the inside of the bed. So like with the side of the truck, you don't see my Pioneer tools on the side of the truck going down the road or getting snagged on a branch. All my shovel axe remain on the inside of the bed. So yeah, not worried about that. Just wooden bed rails. So, and then 33-inch BFGs. I got 32s now. I got 36s on it now. I got 35s in the barn, but I want that sketch to last for a good chunk of time. So I'm going to buy some new 33s in the long run. So both these sketches I'm about to talk about are both going to be on 33s. So anyway, he's doing that sketch for me. It's about $110, $120 for the sketch. That's fair and fine. Comes with all the PDF file, all the files, images. And then my second guy that's going to be doing stuff is, I wrote it down, that's why, I don't forget. And then Underground Fab on Instagram. He didn't reach out, but I saw through his channel, Built Different Garage on his channel and Instagram, and my Trill Stamp guy. This guy did a sketch, like a true blue paper blueprint sketch of someone's vehicle. And it's not down to the color details. It's just a white lines on blue background. Gives it the base profile of the vehicle. Have the winch pop up, have the farm jack, have the exhaust. You can have those details. We're not going to go down the small detail of patina or small parts, but that blueprint's mostly for parts. So yeah, you can have that sketch from Little Jeep. It's nice to have a 3D image of what you're seeing here. But by having the blueprint, it's more a blueprint of like specs of the vehicle, not like for say like measurements. There is a measurement like what size tire you're running, what's your wheelbase. That's on the sketch, but nothing else. So it's like it's gonna say Warren VR Evo AS winch, USA rope products on it, Factory 55 hook, aux beam floodlights, AMC wagon wheels, 33-inch BFG mud trains, and specs on the motor and drivetrain, F-head, T90C, Danny 18, D53 axle, 25 front axle, but it's like I want to change a few things in the long run. Bilstein shocks, but I don't know what model. And then axles, I'm still thinking about doing an axle swap. Like this is year 1, full restoration. Year 2, new axles. Year 3, a Kubota diesel swap. And he says, stuff that's in words, we can change over time. So that's fine. So we can do it as is, we see it here. And over time, you can just do a quick change and send me a new file. So anyhow, there's that for that. Like stock suspension, but 8 shackles. We're running Warren hubs, automatic Warren hubs, things like that. Blueprint and sketch. So anyway, there's that. I'm paying him pretty much $50 for the sketch. It's all hand done, but the rest of it's all files and actually includes stickers. The pack have 100 stickers and you can do other merch, but it's like give you a banner too, what size banner you want, and so there's that. It's not bad price for like $140 or something for the banner, stickers, and the sketch. So anyhow, there's an update for 2 weeks. So yeah. Well, what am I currently working on right now? So me and Dad worked on the radiator today. Not done yet, but ideas and figuring things out. This chassis never had radiator mounts for the radiator. These are mounted by studs in the bottom with a top mount right there. Top mount goes here in the grill, but the radiator on the bottom mounts to the chassis for me, and mine don't have holes or mounts at all. So we kept thinking of ideas. Factory's just angle iron welded on, the hole drilled. That's all it is. But the studs on that are not long enough to adjust length for a lift. So there's a problem there. And then I know in the long run I can weld this on, but when I do my Kubota diesel in 2 years from now, I want to get a new radiator, and it's probably going to be different. So I don't want to be that specific. I want to be universal. And I don't want to weld to a chassis. I just know it's bad. I know it's been done back there, but it's just, no. So he's got all these ideas, trying to attach it. But our hard part is, but there's a hole here. We want to use this hole that's not being used at all, and trying to figure out some kind of way to mount a bolt to it and then run down, run across. So there's a picture he sketched. And so here's the framer right here, top hole right here. Use a bolt. Problem is, how do you have access to the wrench on this side? You can't, because the nut or bolt head, there's no way to get a wrench in. So this is his idea for it. All his other ideas don't work. So my idea was run this stuff. I know it's a bit thin, but I have a way to regenify it. So my idea for running my radiator is, now you can't get one piece. I thought about doing one piece, stick it in, and then stick it back to fit in, but not gonna work. So my idea is mount a piece back in here. Brake line will be way down low, not that high, but for now I'm gonna leave it high. Goes in, mounts to a hole on these angle iron, bolts up there. Another piece that goes in down here, then goes in, finds a hole, bolts up. And then, I'll say it's like that, not precisely like that, but there's that. So now it's just 2 pieces, and then I'll cut it right on there. They're like matching, not like overlapping at all. Do that. Then get the big piece, measure from inside the frame rail, so this slides, tucks right up, and bolts on, so it helps jigify, make it strong, won't twist on you, not warp. So that's strong. And the next option is to then, since I still wanted a middle structure to help support this thing in the middle, it is not this wide, but run a piece of angle iron bolted to the frame. So just drill 2 holes down here, the cross member, bolt to it. Then you have this angle iron up against that angle iron to bolt onto. So you have center structure. So you have bolt, and you have 2 center bolts to help support it. So that's going to hold the radiator. These holes match perfectly on it, so they're going to work perfectly. No holes the ream or drill out. So that works out. Now airflow, how tall this is. Now it could be probably an extra inch sticking up than normal. This needs to be lifted to 1.5 inches still, but I'm gonna lose 1/2 inch of flow. So the radiator, that's about all I'm gonna lose here, but there's that. Next is my brake line. It's not secure at all, but there's so many holes, I can just zip tie the brake line to it. My wire harnesses run mostly down this way, but I can also run some down this way and zip tie to this as well. Next, I have my vent hose for my axle. That's gonna go somewhere and zip tie and be held up, not fall down, not get caught in the fan. So that's also a place to mount it. So it's nice universal mounting. And if the radiator wants to be too much left, too much right, there's holes to adjust. So I know these holes going this way fit perfectly. These don't for the offset. So yeah, just skip. That's my offset pattern. So that's the plan tomorrow to figure that out. That's my mounting. Not the prettiest, but it's gonna be strong. You have 2 pieces, one long piece to help make it strong. Then you have 2 center mounts to help support it. So, all right, there's that. All right, that's about it for this video, for updates. Yep. Kind of long now, I'm 30 minutes in, but it's a lot better than me posting 4 videos at once. Watch all at once versus here's one big update now. So, alrighty, there's my update. That's enough. So, all right, thanks for watching. As of right now, this posting, me recording, my channel is at 910 subscribers, 909 videos posted since I started in like 2015 time. RC rock crawling to drones, flying airplanes, now just cheap stuff every day, but it's growing. About 90 subscribers away from 1,000. It's cool to hit 1,000, but I'm at the point now, them paying me is not going to really happen. Even back then in the day, hey, hit 100 subscribers, get paid now. I made 5 cents in a year. It's not much money. So, it's okay. So, it is cool watching that grow a bit more. Like yesterday, 903, today 110, like 910. It's like, 7 grew. Anyhow, again, I just mostly updates, vlogs like this. Sorry, nothing to me in action, but anyhow, that's how it is. So, all right, thanks for watching.